Hello, and welcome to my another video on Satisfactory. Today we will see my setup of 65 high-speed connectors per minute. Since I have constructed this high-speed connector setup using Mark III miner, I have increased the productivity as much as I can. That's my 720 Alclad ALuminium setup, which I will leave a link in the description. This is my belt area, where I get and sort the input and outputs and send it to storage, and my setup of 65 high-speed connectors per minute. So, here I am using Alclad ALuminium sheet to make heat sinks, and along with high-speed connector and with few other inputs, I am making radio control unit. So the line of coal which you are seeing is not for this setup. Let's get right into my setup. I have written the notes which you are seeing on the right side of the screen. As for the inputs, I am getting 780 Cerium ore, a 600 raw quartz line and 780 water for this setup. I am getting this from different biome using Mark V belts. And for the outputs of high-speed connectors, I am sending it to the bottom floor for storage. So, let's go. I am bringing and sending the inputs to different phases I have set up in this area. The left-hand side is for the Alclad ALuminium sheets, and the middle is for connectors, and right is for radio control unit. Let's get right into phase 1, where I am using Cerium ore to make Cerium ingots. Here I am using alternate recipe, pure Cerium ingot. This recipe uses 24 Cerium ore and 24 water to make 12 Cerium ingots per minute. So, 780 Cerium ore divided by 24 required by this recipe is 32.5 refineries. So in total 33 refineries is required in phase 1. I am using a normal conveyor splitter to split the Cerium ore and send it to refineries. I have made this phase of 33 refineries into 3 segments of 11 refineries. I am sending all of the Cerium ingot outputs into a single side, making a total of 3 lines. With this line of 11 refineries, all 780 Cerium ore is used, and we are making 3 lines of Cerium ingots. This last refinery is underclocked to 50%, as we only need 32.5 refineries to make 780 ingots. I have sent them at the right height level, so that we get all 3 lines in a proper way. So in total, first 2 lines are making 12 times 11 equaling 132 Cerium ingots. And the third line, which has 1 refinery underclocked, is making 126 ingots. In total, we get 390 Cerium ingots out of this phase 1 with 780 Cerium ore and 780 water. Let's move to phase 2, where we are using raw quartz to make silica. As you can see, I am using 577.5 raw quartz from a 600 line to make 962 silica required in this setup. For this I am using a normal recipe of making silica, where it takes 22.5 raw quartz to make 37.5 silica. Here, I wanted to show you the alternate recipe of cheap silica and thought we have that recipe in refinery. But, then I remembered we use limestone and it should be in assemblers. This recipe to make more silica, as limestone is easy to get and can be mass-produced easily. But in my setup, the Cerium is my bottleneck, since with 780 Cerium ore and making quick wire, this standard recipe of silica was more than enough, and I didn't want to overcomplicate this setup. Here, I have this silica setup using constructors in 2 lines. And I am feeding the constructors from a single side and sending the output separately. This is where I remembered we have one of the constructors underclocked. So I was checking at what side we have that constructor to show you guys. As you can see, we have this constructor underclocked to 66.66%. As you can see, we have 2 lines for silica. The first line of silica is merged and sent to phase 6 directly. That is where we are making high-speed connectors. And this line of silica is merged and sent to phase 6 as well. But part of it is sent to make circuit boards, which is also used in phase 6. The circuit boards are made in phase 4 of the setup. And, now for the calculations, we are bringing in 600 raw quartz, but we are using only 577 of it. As for the constructors, in each line we have 13 of them. So in total we have 26, but one on which we are currently standing is underclocked to 66.66%. So 25.66 multiplied by 15 is 385 raw quartz per minute. But this calculation was wrong as I was checking the underclocked one. Now making the calculations right, 25.66 into 22.5 is 577.5 raw quartz per minute. And since we are making 37.5 silica per minute, same 25.6 into 37.5 is 962 silica per minute. This is the summary of phase 2 where we make silica. Now to phase 3 where we make copper sheets. For this we are using the normal recipe where we take 20 copper ingots to make 10 copper sheets. These copper sheets are used to make circuit boards in the next phase, which is phase 4. I am just moving my notes on the right side of the screen for explanation. And in this phase, we are getting 300 copper ingots from my other setup of heat sinks which I am doing someplace else. And using this recipe, we are using 300 ingots to make 150 copper sheets needed for this setup. In total, we need 15 constructors making the copper sheet for circuit boards in our next phase. Since the output is only 150 copper sheets, I am merging both the lines of constructors and sending it to the next step. Along with the copper sheets, as mentioned before, I am sending silica produced from phase 2 to phase 4 making circuit boards. So each silica line is having 487.5 and is sent either side of the setup. As you can see, we are splitting the silica to phase 4 and phase 6 for circuit boards and connectors respectively. Now to phase 4 where we are using silica and copper sheets to make circuit boards. I am using alternate recipe silica circuit board, which takes 27.5 copper sheet and silica each and produces 12.5 circuit boards per minute. So, in total, for this phase 4, we are getting 150 copper sheets and 150 silica to make 68 circuit boards per minute. In total, we have 6 assemblers and the last one is underclocked to 45.45%, making 5.6 circuit board per minute. Now for this phase 4 of making circuit boards, let's look at the calculations part. Since we have 5 assemblers and the last one is underclocked to 45.45%, I am taking 5.45 assemblers for this. So 5.45 assemblers multiplied by 27.5 for both copper sheets and silica, it's equal to 150. So 150 copper sheets from phase 3 and 150 silica from phase 2 is sent here to phase 4 to make circuit boards. I am then merging all the 68 circuit boards into a single line to phase 6 where we are making high-speed connectors. Once again, moving the notes to see phase 5 and phase 6 clearly. Now, let's move to phase 5 where we are taking the Cerium ingots from phase 1 and making quick wire in this phase. Here we are using the normal recipe for quick wire, which takes 12 Cerium ingots and makes 60 quick wire per minute. And if you remember from phase 1, we are sending 3 lines of Cerium ingot, and each line has 132 ingots. Similar to refineries, I am having 3 lines of 11 constructors, and each line taking 132 ingots. Here I have merged 2 lines of ingots because we have 2 lines of constructor inputs facing each other and I am splitting the ingots. So, let's do the calculations part of this phase. Since each line has 11 constructors and this line is merged, we will consider 22 constructors in total. So 22 constructors multiplied by 12 Cerium ingots is 264 ingots required. And we just confirmed we merged two 132 lines of ingots, so the calculations are fine. Similarly, 22 into 60 quickwire is 1320 quickwires from these two lines. I am sending these 3 lines of quickwires separately to phase 6, where I have 3 rows of manufacturers. And the last line having 10.5 into 60 quickwire is 630 cent and the third line. So in total first 2 lines make 660 each, so 1320 and third line making 630, in total 1950 quickwires is made here. So, we have 1950 quickwires from phase 5, and 68 circuit boards from phase 4 and 821.5 silica from phase 2 being sent to phase 6 where we make high-speed connectors. For this, I am using alternate recipe called silicon high-speed connector, which takes 90 quickwire and 37.5 silica and 3 circuit boards to make 3 high-speed connectors per minute. As you know, we are getting 660 quickwires in one line from phase 5 as we have 11 constructors. So just to recap, 11 into 60 is 660 quickwires per minute. Now let's do some calculations for this phase. We have 660 quickwires coming in and each manufacturer takes 90, so 660 divided by 90 is 7.33. So each line needs 7.33 manufacturer. For each line of quickwire, I am keeping 8 manufacturer and the last one is underclocked to 33.33%. In total each line produces 22 high-speed connectors per minute. I have done the same setup for the second line of 660 quickwires, where I have set up 8 manufacturers and the last one is underclocked to 33.33%, making 22 high-speed connectors once again. Now for the last line, where we get 630 quickwire because of 1 underclock, 630 quickwire divided by 90 required equals 7. So the third line has 7 manufacturers running at 100%, making a total of 21 high-speed circuits per minute. So 22 high-speed connectors from 2 lines and 21 in the last. We are making 22 plus 22 plus 21 equals 65 high-speed connectors per minute. I am then merging all these 65 high-speed connectors together and sending it to storage. Currently, I have enough high-speed connectors stored. So out of 65, I am using 60 high-speed connectors to make radio control units. As seen here, I am sending connectors to the right and all the overflow to the storage. Those blueprints are for the radio control unit. Now let's recap for a moment. That's the phase 1 where we convert Cerium ore to ingots. Phase 2 where we convert quartz to silica, and phase 3 where we convert copper ingot to copper sheet. And phase 4 where we take copper sheet and silica to make circuit boards. Phase 5 where we take Cerium ingots to make quickwire. And phase 6 where we take all the inputs and make high-speed connectors. This took a lot of time to set up, and I set this up after Alclad ALuminium sheet because I needed Mark 5 belts to bring 780 Cerium required for this setup. After this setup, I designed the blueprint where we take these resources and make 2 circuit boards per minute. I will leave a link in the description. So if I needed 65 circuit boards, in total 65 divided by 2 is 32.5. So we would have needed to set this building 32.5 times. But in future, if I needed a small quantity, I will definitely use the blueprint to make it easy. I will also try and see if I can get 3 circuit boards instead of 2 in my blueprint to improve efficiency. So this is my setup of 65 high-speed connectors per minute. This is not a how-to-do video, instead I am showing off what I did in my setup. And since this is my starter factory, I am leaving this open as of now. I have already started to build a new factory which I will make it as a main base. Thanks for sticking out till the end of this video. If you find anything interesting, leave a comment, or if you want to share, please do the same. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing for more